Hello and welcome to this video series where we're checking out submissions to Dungeoncrawler Gamejam of 2023. And this time we will have a look at The Alchemist by ScalphaMission. Let's go through the description before we jump into the game. Welcome to The Alchemist, an action-packed video game that takes you on a thrilling journey through a world of magic, alchemy and revenge. In this game you will play as an alchemist who has been imprisoned for his heinous crimes against humanity, including conducting brutal experiments on living people. But now he's had enough and is determined to break out of prison and take revenge on the city that wronged him. As you navigate through the dangerous prison and fight off guards, you'll discover the dark secrets behind the alchemist's imprisonment and the true nature of his experiments. With powerful alchemical spells at your disposal, you'll be able to create powerful potions and weapons to help you overcome your enemies and escape the prison. But it won't be easy. The city guards will stop at nothing to keep you locked up, and you'll need to use all of your wits and cunning to outsmart them and make your escape. With immersive gameplay, stunning graphics, and a gripping storyline, The Alchemist Prison Break is sure to keep you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Are you ready to take on the challenge? Yes, we are. It's a bit overpromising, but I already checked out the game. This is basically the second recording, so just so you know, I got something wrong the first time around, and it also took a bit long, so I think I can compress it just a little bit. So let's jump into the game just like that, and now we've got the intro. My! They finally locked you away. I can't imagine you're surprised. Such terrible accusations lain at your feet. Mysterious melodies that come on like a summer storm. Strong men laid low by torpor and fatigue. Bodies of loved ones vanishing from family crypts. How can a man live up to that? Well, at any rate, I've come with a gift. I just know you'll be able to make use of these. Why? Let's just say I want to watch things unfold. Sometimes the flowers arrange themselves. Blep. And I think we got our shot here. So we have an option menu with sound, music and sound effects, I guess. You can hear the background atmosphere track. The levels are... we had some other dude right at the point where we started at. So yeah, before we do some navigation, we are actually fighting against an enemy. This is not a random encounter. He was just spawned right into the position we were starting at. So yeah, this is the combat. We have the cauldron here with basically 3 charges, and we have cards which we can select. And no matter whether or not we use them, all of these are redrawn for the next turn, and they are drawn out from this deck. So that also means, so the enemy is now buffing himself. And for example, let's say we use this debuff, and this debuff, and this poison. So we have 2 heals left. Heal cards, which should heal us by 4 if we played them. But I think when the next turn starts, we will not have them anymore because they are basically redrawn. Everything which is in the cauldron is then applied to the enemy, which is 1 poison. He has got 15 hit points out of 15, so this is a bit misleading. I first thought this was a shield and some kind of armor or something, but we have 30 of 30 and he's got 15 of 50. 15 of 15. He's got 3 attack, and we reduce that attack by 2. But this will not do anything because he's not attacking, and our debuff, I think it only counts for 1 turn. I'm not sure if his attack is counting for more. We will see about that. So we end our turn basically brewing this. Let's see. He got the poison. His is reduced to 1. he buffs himself to 2, and because our debuff is then removed, he now got 4. So this is just a debuff for the turn, and I guess that this is also just a buff for the turn, but I'm not sure. And you saw that the 2 hearts we had before, they were gone, so it's completely, yeah, reshuffled. Now we will reduce his attack of 4 down to 2, which still gives us 4 damage because 2 times 2. And we will put in some poison and add that. So the poison is stacking and keeps active. So you can see that his attack is actually not reduced back to 3. So while his is permanent, our one's is temporary. And I guess we will need to kill him as soon as possible now, because he is getting more and more strength. So we get that to 5. The 5 are then applied right away. So he will be down to 7. Let's do that. And now he will attack with 2 times 5. And yeah, this is a very bad start, basically. We can reduce that to 2 times 3. And we should probably also do that. Let's do this. And use some poison. But the poison will not kill him. And now he will do quite a bit of damage. But now he's definitely dead. And it's important to know the order of things to happen. So our heal will happen first. Then the poison will be applied, or something around that. And after that, he is cleansing, and then the damage of the poison is being done. And after that, if the enemy can clean the poison, it's done at that point. And also his damage is done last, basically. So if we kill him before, if we have enough poison, he will not do any damage. And our heal will also go through. So in this case, what we need to do is just heal, because now we will get the heal. We will end up with 22. And then the poison of the last time will tick, and he will die. And now, because we killed, we can get some loot, and we will get the better poison. And now we can walk around the dungeon. But let's just... yeah. So the dungeon is randomly generated, and the enemies are randomly positioned. And the blue ones are actually stronger than the others. They're actually... well, with 25, they're quite tough. So this is a really tough start. So we will do a lot of poison, and we need to try to get him down as quickly as possible, and we just basically ignore everything else. So now we get 1 times 5. You can see we get 6. He will get 6 damage. We can make sure that he dies by applying 2 poison, which will turn that to 8, which makes him dead not this turn, but the next turn, most definitely. And we can also... I could use to reduce that by 1, but because the cards are reshuffled anyways, it's better to heal in this case. Because that 2 heal is doing more than 1 damage resist. Alright, so he is healing, but this will not be of any use to him, because he will be dead by that point. We will just use some heal ourselves, and that takes 8 damage, and we got some heal, I think. I'm not sure. I think we got 19. Okay, so now we have some space to navigate. Maybe he did do some damage before he died. I need to have a look at that. So anyways, regarding the navigation feels fine-ish. It's not perfect. You can also see some stutter, but this could be because of the HTML version. So if we move forward and then right, it's queuing the commands up. I think maybe not from the start, but generally it's feeling fine. The perspective is weird though. So first of all, I think the camera should be pulled back a bit so that we can see more from the left and right. We can see some walls, but the funny thing is that this is not always the case. And even with the same wall, sometimes, by the way, we can also not move backward. The S key is not working. So now you can, yeah. This, for example, on the right side we have a wall, but now it's not displayed anymore. So I think when you're moving from tile to tile, you're ending up on a slightly different position on the tile, and this can influence what you see. So either way, I think the camera needs to be pulled back, and so that you could see both. And of course it would be good if you would always end up at the same position on the tile. That's a bit weird. Alright, but overall the navigation, I mean, I would say it's not the greatest, but it's fine. So let's get back into next combat. This is actually the weakest enemy we have. So but he does a lot of damage this time, 3 times 2. So in this case, we can just remove all his damage and then apply some... No, we will not apply some poison. We will focus now on healing so that we can heal up for if we want to fight harder enemies. Because I don't think that he's very dangerous. So now he's buffing. We use that time to heal further and apply some poison. Now he's doing 3 times 3, which is yeah, it's quite a bit. So now he will only do 3 damage, and let's do some poison. Now he's buffing again. We definitely need to heal. The buff is not really super relevant. We now do 2 poison plus 2. It's 4, and we can basically guarantee that he's dead next turn. So let's see what he's doing. 12 damage. We can't do any damage, but he should die anyways. So let's see what happens with the damage. I will just add this and this and this. So he should be down to just 3 damage, to 3 times 1. We are at 25. Let's see if we lose any hit points, or if he just dies. 25. We can decrease it by 4. Let's do that. Yeah, so he wasn't able to do any damage. Okay, next enemy, again a weak one. 2 times 2. We can reduce that to nothing and apply 2 poison. And he's buffing himself, which is fine. We need to get back more healing. So there's no point in saving up cards. You should always use the best cards you have, because you're redrawing your deck, your hand every time. So he's doing 9 damage, which is quite a bit. We can reduce that again by using that. It's basically down to 0. We can heal, but there's no point in doing that. So we just reduce the damage to 0. And yeah, he's dead now anyways. We can't really do anything. We are full. And now we can choose a different poison, another poison, and these are our cards. So I noticed a bug here. We cannot have, don't get a tooltip for the top row, but we do get one for the bottom row. And we cannot remove any cards from here. So the deck is basically, yeah, final. All right. So you'll see there is a chest as well. So we can get some additional cards from the chests, which are more powerful. But I think the cards which are using all 3 of the cauldron spots, they're not very good. Let's use the poison and health instead. Yeah, and then we will fight against this weakling here. Yeah, let's remove 2 damage, so we get nothing, and we add 2 poison. He is not doing anything, and now we will apply another 2 poison. We could heal, but we are full already. So he's got 4 left. We do 4 damage. He will not be able to attack, and we can just do nothing, and he will die. All right, and now we can choose another poison. So I think the combat is actually very good. It's you really need to think about what you do, like the yeah, I mean it's not the deepest card game in the world, but overall I think it's working quite well. And especially for the jam in comparison to other games, that's really, really well. So, I mean, you have to think with every fight what you're doing, and this is already more than you can say about most of the other games, actually. So, yeah, I really like the combat. Usually, I mean, I'm not a fan of card game mechanics. I usually don't buy games which have card game mechanics, because I think that's kind of the easy way out. If you don't want to care much about balancing with, like, in a game like I don't know, yeah, just. In a turn-based game, let's say Operencia, as a turn-based crawler game, you really need to have a very tough balancing there. And with a card game, you can always say, okay, that was just bad luck, maybe next time you have a better draw. And okay, now you were totally overpowered, but it's not broken because that only happened once in a couple of times or something like that. So you can get away with a lot of things by just making it completely random with cards. But I think here in this jam environment, this is actually a very nice way to give it some depth, also in a limited amount of time. And yeah, you really need to think about what you're doing here, and that's really nice. I mean, there is some randomness involved, but it's not like it's completely random. And I think it's much better than, let's say, clicking on enemies until they are dead. So, yeah, we got some damage here. And let's just soak him in poison now. He's healing himself, but of course he's just healing the damage we are doing in the turn. We should heal up and apply even more poison. So he's got 15 left, but yeah, we will just put all... Ah, no, I should have used the heal. Well, anyways, we can still use the heal now. So now we are full again. But we can use the 5 here. Heal times 3. Yeah, let's take that. Right. So yeah, you have to make decisions about which cards you take every time, which is nice. You have to make decisions about, in this case, which opponents you want to take. You have no random encounters, which is nice. And of course, the tactical decisions within combat. And this is, I think, the end boss. And of course, you could run around even longer and collect more stuff, defeat more enemies. Maybe there are also some more chests left. But yeah, let's apply all the poison we can. In this case, we reduce our hit points just a little bit, but we applied 12 poison, which is quite a bit. So he is healing himself for 10, but that's not... So we are still doing more damage than he's healing. And of course, we will stack up the poison even more. Let's heal a bit. Now he's at... Yeah, he's healed a bit. He's just doing 7 damage. And we can just increase the poison even further. Alright, 19, and we're down to 20 now. Now he's doing 14 damage, but he will not be able to apply that anymore. I mean, we can heal just for fun. But yeah, he will die now because of the poison. And we have got a special card. We can increase our cauldron size, we get max health, or we get a additional hand size. We choose the cauldron. And with that, the game is broken. Yeah, it gets stuck here. So that was also good that I checked it a second time. But yeah, we cannot progress here. I think the game is finished with that last boss. So it would have been nice if there was like an end screen or something. Maybe there was something more, and the game broke. But I think this is well. In any case, this is the end, and we kind of defeated the last boss, and we are free to roam and to torture more villages or something like that. Happy end. All right. So I think that was a very nice entry. So. It had well, the story was fine. We had a start and an end. Well, kind of. I mean, we defeated the last boss, so that's fine. The dungeon design was not very interesting. It's just like empty corridors, no rooms or anything, just randomness. The perspective and the movement, I think overall it's fine. But it could be improved. Like I said, for the perspective, the vision could be pulled a little bit back, and that if you move, you always end up at the same spot and have not the walls look different every time. That would have been a nice improvement. For the deck, I mean, there was small bugs, but overall, I think the combat was very nice and interesting, especially for the jam environment. And the graphical assets you saw with the enemies, they are like low poly models with I think cell shading on, so they kind of match the aesthetic of the dungeon, of this pixel art dungeon stuff, which is also cool. So the art, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's great art, but it's fine, it's working well. And also the music was fine, although the sounds, you have this gloomy atmospheric track in the background, you have sound effects, so everything there is also fine. I don't think that this was created for the jam. Let me switch back for a moment. And here we are again. So, more information. Yeah, it's not mentioned about what stuff is coming from, so I don't know if anything was created by this person, by a ScalphaMission for the jam. but I guess he used the assets from somewhere else. So, or yeah, the graphics and the music. But overall, I think that's a very nice entry. Well, the combat was well made. The balancing was actually rather good. As mentioned, with card games, there's always this luck component. It's the easy way out, I would say. But still, it was quite good, especially for a jam environment. And I had fun with the game. So that was The Alchemist by ScalphaMission. And yeah, if you're interested in checking out games yourself, you'll find the link down in the video description to the itch.io page with all the submissions. And if you want to see more videos, you can check out the playlist, where I will add all the episodes, all the videos I did so far. And of course, you can subscribe to the channel to not miss any future videos. I thank you for watching and hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.